Tomorrow, the 8th of August, was born the great southern Mexican revolutionary leader, Emiliano Zapata, born, I repeat, on the 8th of August 1879. This man managed to enter Mexico in 1914 because they rebelled against the injustices against the peasants. He came from the south, and from the north came another great leader who was also assassinated. Emiliano Zapata was an example to the revolutionaries. And there is this Central American organization, el Frente Zapatista de Liberación Nacional, the Zapatist Front of National Liberation, who took power for a few years. So, in El Salvador. What I want to say now, we have a Palestinian, or the descendant of Palestinians, who is president of El Salvador. And he's doing very strange things. I don't know. I hope he will not recognize Israel and that he will defend the rights of the Palestinian people. Who knows? Whatever. When I mention this, because I remember my infancy in Mexico when I was a child, and we studied this in school, and talk about history. Zapata was a great man and a respected leader, and the descendants from those who killed Zapata, they were in power. It's very sad. Whatever. What else can I say? That mostly, with a few exceptions like Fidel Castro and Raúl Castro and the leaders of the Cuban Revolution, revolutionaries in the world, the great revolutionaries, have been killed. Dr. Wadi Haddad was irradiated. The great Bembera was not killed because he was kept for many years in a prison in a village, in a house in a village. That saved his life. And then he was sent to release and sent to Switzerland, where Gaddafi gave him money to make a solidarity association. And Isabel Coutanter was the lawyer of this association. And this man helped me. He sent me money twice. I never was there to ask him anything, but he sent me money twice because I lived 2 years in Algiers while he was in this isolation in a village. And I was living in the luxury house. We could even those cars could be parked inside the garage, inside the house. It's unbelievable, And anyway, he was really there with me. Some of the clothes I wear sometimes was sent by him. And he had no good money there in Switzerland. All from Gaddafi. Gaddafi made many mistakes. But he was a very solidarious man. Unfortunately, at the end he was influenced by traitors. And we warned him, or his closest man, I told him, of these people said, no, they are very kind, they are traitors, be careful. And history proves to me right. What I want to come to is that so many people were killed. I guess they will have to release me, and probably they will irradiate me to the CIA or the Mossad or whoever. Let's not forget that what he had that was died from this. Hawali Boumedi died from this. And so many other people died from this. Very strange. In George Havash, was not irradiated because he was under the protection of the King of Jordan. The King of Jordan, who kept me as his guest for 2 years. I married even a Palestinian woman, aristocrat, on the Turkish aristocracy of how do you call it in English, military aristocracy, those Lan Abdel Salam Adham Jafar, from the Jafar family. And she was facing her studies as a dentist in Damascus University. Very good girl, pretty girl, very clean, very honest, decent. Anyway, I am paying for being a revolutionary and for not collaborating or cooperating with the enemy. I have not been able to contact her, there's no way. And it is like this. Good people have to pay a price for being good. And on top, like me, a hero of the political assistance, the man who executed more operations, the other systems, foreign operations. They will try to continue until I cooperate. I will never cooperate with the enemy. Never. In my family, there are no traitors. I'm talking about my small family. In my great family, my clan, there are no traitors. And I will not be the first one. I'm getting old, 71 years old. I have good lawyers. Isabel Couton Perez, first of all, she's very dedicated, very strong. And she has been quite sick. We wonder why. And but she resists. Francis Willman has been very faithful and solidary with me all these years. We owe him a lot of money. We owe him $1 million, who knows? But he continues defending me. That's good. And my Turkish lawyers, they are very solidarious. And I have to thank them for this. Whatever, we continue fighting, we continue struggling, and we must never forget Emiliano Zapata. He was killed by the same enemies of us, the ancestors of our actual enemies. And it's better to die than to betray. To die and to pass to the enemy side, or to become a servant of the enemy. I guess I could be useful, as I'm quite famous in the media. I go back to Venezuela, and I could be useful to our dear Communist Party and to the Bolivarian Revolution. And as I know how the world and many revolutionary movements in the world, I could be a good advisor to the government. Well, they don't want this. Some people in Venezuela think that they will take the place of one of them, and they do their best up to today not to allow me to go back to Venezuela. I don't even get the money from Venezuela since January 1994. Sorry, January 2014. January 2014, this is 7.5 years I haven't received a penny from Venezuela. And my family were not poor. They are not possibility to send money. The country is ruined. The richest country in the world is ruined. We have to thank President Erdogan. He went to Venezuela, he was solidary with the revolution. He's not the communist, he's not the socialist, but he's solidary with the governments who want to give independence to their countries. Venezuela is an independent country, and this is something very important. To be independent, to see roles for nobody. And now Venezuela is getting some aid to Cuba. Cuba is in a terrible situation. There is the epidemic, the pandemic, the coronavirus, and then they were living a lot from tourism because of this epidemic, this pandemic, there is almost no tourists, so there's no money coming in, and the situation is not easy at all. But they go on. Nicaragua was in a difficult situation also, under the permanent attack from the anti-imperialists. Except send some help to Cuba. Venezuela, in spite of our bad situation, sent some help to Cuba. The Iranian brothers, the Iranian government, who is under Israeli harassment, who is menaced by the United States every day, they send help. And despite of this, that this is a country in that area where you have the biggest number of contaminated people and dead people because of the coronavirus. What I want to say is, whatever the situation, if you have principles, you believe in those principles, and you're ready to die for your principles, you cannot be defeated. Because the cause one is defending is the right cause. I am a fighter for the liberation of occupied Palestine. And we want, like the PFLP decided at the 1000 as the Congress, the third Congress of the PFLP, Popular for the Liberation of Palestine, in 1969 in Amman, in which they decided there should be one Palestine for all, for Palestinians, Muslims, Christians, Jews. There were 15,000 Jewish Palestinians were anti-Zionists in 1948. And for the Jewish immigrants and refugees, even if they are Zionists, they should all live together in a free Palestinian Republic. Well, it's not the case until now. And here we have something. Turkey was in the side of the traitors, and now Turkey is facing the Islamic State. This is very important. And the Turkish people, which is mostly Muslim, they are not supporting the state of Israel. And some traitors in the army, security services, some of the traitors in Turkey were pro-Israelis. Which is not the case. You have a real anti-Zionist government. And I hope that President Erdogan will not be killed. He should protect himself because he will stay moving around. And trying to avoid continuation of the wars in the bordering countries, Syria for the fourth. And I hope that the Kurdish comrades, still Sahel, will stop fighting and they will continue the struggle, even for independence, in a legal, political manner. Who knows what will happen? I am not pessimistic, but in this case I am neither optimistic. We are going to see our children in long struggle. It's very sad that the small Republic of Kurdistan, north of Iraq, the Israelis have a base there. They're supposed to be Muslims. They have a base. The Americans have bases. The CIA. This is very sad. Because the Kurds are extremely brave people. I have known some Kurds, and we used to respect them for their courage. They were very courageous. So, there's hope that the Kurds will be united, which is difficult because among the Kurds you have different religious sects and tribal differences. But who knows? And to make peace with the Arabs, and especially with the Turks. regulated talks to be peace with the gods and respect the gods, and the gods respect the talks, and comrade Abdullah will be freed and will continue the struggle for his ideas in a political way as a citizen of the Republic of Turkey. Maybe I'm just dreaming, but I wish, I hope that they will come to. President Erdogan has a strong attitude and cannot blame him, because everybody is against Erdogan. When I mean everybody, I don't mean the people. I mean the states. In France, unbelievable how they are against Turkish association, Muslim association, trying to build the biggest mosque in Europe, in France. The mayor is a lady, is not a Muslim. Gave them, I don't know, million euros or more, I don't remember now. Helping them because they were good to have a large mosque. And the government intervened to prevent them from having a mosque. While the Zionists, they can get as much money as they want every day, and nobody says anything. But the Muslims, yes, the Turks, yes, and the Muslims are second in number in France. We don't know what will happen, but fear is not on our side. And there is a God, Allah, La ilaha illallah, wa Muhammad is Rasulullah. Allahu Akbar.